Alright, you're gonna need a widescreen monitor for this, but this video is gonna cover um, basically a campaign and how it's conducted. Now, Wyckoff talked a lot about this, but I'm gonna do it more from perspective of wave charts, some point figure, but without going into every single little bar. So it's pretty practical. This is the last leg of the up move that we're having currently, the current leg of the up move, and how you can spot, the campaign. Okay, so the way I'm doing this is all the way on the left is the weekly, then the daily, then the 60-minute, then the 5-minute, and then the 1 by 1 point figure, and this is on the SPY. Okay, so that's the approach, and it might seem complicated, but it gets easier. All right, so this is the turning point right there on the weekly. The first thing to notice is the market rallied. It rallied 2 billion shares, up $19.16, and then it pulled back on 1 billion shares, $17.81. All right. The other thing to note is the trend is up. Just the highs and the data points, meaning swing highs and swing lows, are at or above the moving average. So typically you're going to see that in any not short term, but intermediate term moving average. When the data points are above it, it usually means that the trend is up. But I mean, there's a lot more to it. I don't want to go all into it. The point is that the swing high and swing low data points are above. It makes a rally, 2 billion 1916 up, and pulls back on 1 billion $17.81 down. Okay, so we're going to examine this turning point and see the campaign that's in it. There's the weekly chart. So in order to see it, you have to go to the other charts. So on the daily chart, you can very clearly see a rally and a pullback. The rally here is on 1,300 million, going up 1916, and pulled back on 900 million, and a pullback on 1718. Right in here is where we're gonna zoom in. Okay. First thing to note is this is in a pullback position, meaning it has a rally and a pullback. Okay, so there's a rally and it pulls back. The rally has more price and volume than the pullback. The second thing to notice is that when it goes down on heavy volume towards the end of the pullback. Now, there is some at the start, but the end of the pullback has heavy volume, and it has no follow through. There's a reversal. That right there is a minor climax. When the rally followed by the pullback, heavy volume on the pullback, followed by a reversal without any follow through, chances are high that you have a minor climax, especially this follow through to the upside. Minor climax. And you can tell because of this bar is the biggest down bar in 26 down bars, and it's followed by the biggest up bar in 16 up bars. Okay, so volume is there, meaning the buying on the panic selling down, and on the cheap prices on the way up, buying on the way down and buying on the way up. That's what these two together mean. So you're in a pullback position. Panic selling is the opportunity for strong hands to come in. Buy on the way down, meaning buy the panic, and then come in on the way up. Why? Because the panic, like people have sold whatever they're going to sell. And then once that's done, just reverse it, buy it right back. And these two show you that. It's within the volume that you can see this. Okay, then it has follow through and pullback. So now those are some observations. One of which is it's a rally. Second is it's a pullback. That pullback ends in a climax and has a reversal. I'll just start observing the data in here. So in order to observe the data, you have to go to lower time frame. It's not possible to see the buyers without going to the lower time frame and really seeing what's happening on an intraday basis. So for that, we go to the hourly chart. Wrong. I think that's it right there. Okay. So now I'm going to explain what's going on, but first draw. Okay, so this is the area. This is the area. To the left-hand side. So this is daily. Then I'm going to be examining on the hourly. Okay. So it did within these two lines. Within these two lines, on the daily, I'm going to examine the price volume action on the hourly. So now I'm going to take a look at the hourly chart and see what is going on within this leg down. So take a look at the daily and the hourly together. So I'm going to box over here, right over there. Okay, so this area corresponds to the leg down on the daily. This chart here is a wave chart made from the hourly bars. Okay, so you notice that up here volume just dried up, right? So up here there was both price and volume dried up. There's lack of demand. I mean, it's very clear because price goes up, tests this, kind of looks like a double top or up thrust or whatever. But the point is, there's nothing. And then from that nothing, there is selling. How much selling? 155 million shares down, driving price $8.30 down. The volumes are increasing to the downside, where you see 130 million, then goes up only 32 million, then goes down 155 million. So it's high volume down, low volume up, high volume down. And again, low volume up and high volume down. Then again, low volume up, high volume down. The whole point of this area is to show there's more selling than buying. See that? High volume, low volume, high volume, low volume, high volume, low volume, high volume. It's very clear. So you had a lack of demand at the top, followed by supply, and then more lack of demand here. So just type in, I just put a long pullback there. Why 155 million down and 38 up? So 155 million followed by 38 up. So then it does this again, meaning now it's going down in 75 million, 7,500 million, 75 million, 42 million up, and then finally 139 million. Now the key here, when it goes down here, you have high volume, and after that it goes up 119 million. That 119 million is a change of behavior. It is the biggest price volume action in about 7 and 4 ways. It's still less than 139 million, but it's a significant increase relative to at least 7 waves. 7 waves is bigger than all the waves in the downtrend because we only had 1, 2, 3, about 3 or 4 down. So this wave's down. I was starting over here, 130 million, 1, 2, 3, 4. So over here, the buying wave has more price volume activity and all the waves, all the down waves in this corrective action that set up the pullback on the daily. All right. Now, do you have to wait until this 119 million on the way up? Not really. If you're looking at the lower time frames. On the lower time frames, you have to kind of you have to keep on continuing deeper and deeper, like looking, it's like I don't know what to say, but just like going one step lower in the lower time frame to a lower time frame to find the exact points. So we'll just take a look at this area here. See what's going on here. In order to see what's going on here, you have to go to a lower time frame. Now, would you just take a look at every point and look at its lower time frame? No. I am only looking here because I know something's going on the lower time frame. I know something is going on because I have indicators indicating that. So this right here means there's heavy buying coming in. Like, and I just know that on the daily it's in a pullback position. So in the pullback position, there's a climax on the daily. You know, you want to, it's tagging support levels. That's the other thing. Like, when do you want to look at these turning points? You want to look at them with their key levels, support and resistance levels. It's really that straightforward. Look at the turning point when it's at a level. So here, when 139 million down, it's at a key level. So that can tell you certain indicators that are going into the data can also tell you as well. So here you're in a pullback position testing support. All right, so one step deeper into a 5-minute wave chart. It looks messy, but like, you get the hang of this. A lot of it is just being able to filter out the noise. Give me 1 second while I find the spot. It's right there. Okay. So now let's observe what's going on. Okay, so price went down on heavy volume. One of the things that comes to mind when you see heavy volume is that, is it a potential climax? Okay, now it's at a key level. You see this heavy volume on the hourly and decide to zoom in on the 5-minute chart. On the 5-minute chart, It basically shows you the price went down, 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 and then drove down. Like it was started going sideways, but then it just drove down. It drove down, and as it did, there was high volume on the downside to the tune of about 9 million shares, followed by high volume on the way up. On the way up to about 12 million shares. What is this telling you? This is telling you that this is a climax because it's the biggest wave in 49 waves, and that is a change of behavior because it's the biggest price wave and volume wave in the trend and bigger than the past 49 up waves. So $3.63 on the way down, followed by $2.74 on the way up. Okay? After that, it pulls back on only 4 million and then 5 million. So 12 million up, 4 and 5 million down, followed by 10 million up. Once this occurs on the 10 million up, it is telling you that A, it's confirmed. B, get ready for a substantial rise in prices. Okay, now how you do that is then you move on to the point and figure chart and see that this whole thing was a big block. This whole thing was a big block of accumulation. Right, all of this. So that's how it's done. And you can clearly see the sideways activity, the block of accumulation, and then the breakouts. The question is, where do you go long, how do you go long, etc., etc. So the way I view it is that you have a climax down, change of behavior up, followed by pullback 1 and pullback 2 that are not strong at all. So after that, you have confirmation on the way up, and the trend changes. Now, when I see this, when the selling waves have weakened, and they weakened here, and I think they weakened here as well, this is telling me that this market is ripe. You see the selling wave, they go from 4 to 5 to 5 to 2 to 1. Right there, this is over. I would say right at this point, I guess you could do 7-4 right here, but here it's, I mean, imagine you go from 10 million up all the way down to 1 million down. You know, you go from 12, 9 and 12 and 4 and 5 and 5 and 2 and 1. There's definite scarcity right here, scarcity of supply. There's no question. 5, 2, 1 right there is game over. And this market after that launched. It just launched up. So the key point where supply became scarce and the market was on the springboard is right at that point. Now some may say it's on the point right before, and they're also correct. Like over here, when it goes from 5 to 2, it's game over also. Right there, because all indications point to higher prices. Why? The wave is the smallest wave in 7 waves, and it is the smallest price in the last 4. No, smallest price in the last 7, smallest volume in the last 4. I mean, either of these 2 points to me, it just, you don't get in this one, then this one. And price is ready to launch. So price is scarce here. I mean, supply is scarce here and here. And stop will probably be around here somewhere. All right, so to sum up everything, how this campaign was done, or is the weekly chart just saw a pullback on the weekly chart. All right, pullback to what? A support area, a prior turning point, whatever. All right, so there was strength of demand already in the weekly. Trend was up, etc., etc. Right, and it pulled back. As it pulled back, took a look at the daily chart. So weekly trend was up, pulled back on the weekly, took a look at the daily chart. Daily chart showed very clear pullback to the support area, and it showed a climax. It showed a climax because on the pullback you had high volume on the last down bar. That's a minor climax. So it was time to observe the activity. Took a look at the hourly waves, went down, 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 bang, right up there, followed by a high volume wave up where you went from 42 to 119. This was buying right there. That's buying. So I saw the climax on the daily on the pullback, saw the buying on the hourly, right here. This wave up corresponds to this wave volume of 120 million shares. 119 million shares. And that was the biggest price volume in the 7 and 4 price and volume waves. Then, to observe that buying activity, what we did was just take a look at the 5-minute chart. In the 5-minute chart, you see selling on the way down, which was a climax. It's very evident by the numbers. 49 biggest price wave down. And it was followed by the biggest price wave up. 49 on the biggest price wave up. So this is like it's climaxing on the way down, and there's buying on the way up. So this is very much like the first study, where you see this type of activity. There's a hell of a lot of selling, and then from that selling, there is buying. Why are they buying? There could be 3 reasons that Wyckoff had explained. So one is buy low. That's what professionals do. They buy low. 2, cover your shorts low. So could be short covering. So either buy low for substantial move up, cover your shorts at low prices, as indicated by this. All of a sudden, this shakeout right down. And number 3 is to stop demoralization in the market. Those are the 3 reasons that were given in his study. So here you have the climax, here you have your change of behavior. Very evident by the numbers. The numbers say whatever you need to see. Right there, 49. I mean, come on, 49 waves. That's the biggest wave in 49 waves. There has to be a change of behavior. And then, after that, it confirms. Confirms here, is on a springboard right in this area here. On the springboard. What about, there's a lot of, some want to know if it's on a springboard here or here. I would say it's on a springboard here because of the lack of supply, very evident here. Much more evident than it is over here. Much more evident here. And look what happened. So while all of that is going on, I'm going to take a look at the point and figure chart and very clearly see there's a block forming. What is that block? It's an accumulation block. And it yielded breakout after breakout after breakout after breakout. One breakdown, but immediately buying back, breakout, 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 breakout. So, all right, folks.